Please like and subscribe. Let's grow NAIA basketball. Thank you. Cascade Hoops Talk, bringing the world NAIA basketball one podcast at a time. Cascade Hoops Talk. Hey, this is Billy D. It's Monday, December 11th. Pretty exciting weekend of NAIA basketball. I hope your team won. If they didn't, I hope you enjoyed yourself. We got a lot to get to. There was a ton of games this weekend. We're also going to talk about Multnomah University. They went down. They upset Arizona Christian. They went over the next day and beat OUAZ. We're going to talk to their associate head coach, Quinn Curry, a guy who's been with the program a long time. And then I'm sure you saw the shot by Florida College. Deontay Martinez made at the buzzer, up at Thomas, I should say. And we caught him literally on his way home. So let's get right to it, and let's go through the top 25 and see where we stand. Number 2, College of Idaho. Boy, they really got back to their winning ways. They hosted Eastern Oregon. That's a rival for them within the conference. Eastern's a very good team despite their record, but they defeat them 75-45. Jake O'Neal up to his old tricks, 10 points, 10 rebounds. Johnny Radford, one of the best pure shooters in the country, 24 points. So College of Idaho is 7-2. Their next stop is December 15th at Multnomah, and there is a ton of anticipation about that game right now in the Northwest. Number 3, Langston. Well, boy, everybody thought Sagu was going to give them a run for their money. They beat them 86-55. They go to 8-0. Congratulations to Coach Wright. He got his 250th win. He's going to be on the show tomorrow, by the way. Anthony Roy, 23 points, 7 rebounds. Ronald Mitchell, 19 points, 2 rebounds. Next up for the Lions, they're going to play LSU Shreveport, another test for Langston. And again, Coach Wright will be on the show tomorrow. Oklahoma Wesleyan, they played York on Saturday. They beat them 88-73. They go to 10-1. In that game, Jaden Litsky, 19 points, 3 rebounds. Nick Bean, 19 points, 4 rebounds. Oklahoma Wesleyan, boy, they're rolling. They look really good, by the way. They're going to play Texas Wesleyan on December 18th. Arizona Christian, as we said, they got beat. I believe that was Thursday night by Multnomah. We were able to catch up with Quinn Curry Saturday night after their flight home from Arizona. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, I got Quinn Curry on the phone. He's the associate head coach over at Multnomah out of the Cascade Conference. Welcome, Quinn. Thanks for being on this morning.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
So, Quinn, you go down to Arizona, go to Surprise. You surprised a lot of people. The big win at Arizona Christian was the one that really got it started. That was a wire-to-wire win. And then you went over to OUAZ, and then you beat them, I think by 2, if I recall right. Wasn't it 92-90?
Yes, sir.
So let's just talk about the 2 games real quickly. So the Arizona Christian game, you jumped on them early, and then you never let them up. I kept I'll be honest with you, Quinn. I was watching the game, and I kept thinking, okay, Arizona Christian's going to make a run on them. And it just, you were able to hold them off. Just talk about that game.
Yeah, for sure. It was the type of game where, we had to set the tone defensively first. Following a couple, losses the previous week in conference where we didn't shoot very well, we knew we had to get ourselves in a rhythm defensively and have that carry us over onto the offensive side. And our guys brought the intensity right from the jump. I think the first play, our first possession on defense, we had 2 guys lay out for a loose ball. That kind of set the tone for the rest of the game, and then the shots kind of started falling. Taylor Pomeroy hit a couple big shots early in the game, and it kind of loosened us up a little bit. Playing top teams like that, sometimes you can play a little tight early. But luckily, the defensive intensity kind of got those jitters out early and allowed us to really compete right from the jump.
So as I said, you won that game wire to wire. I think you ended up winning 10, almost 10, 11 points. And then, so that was a huge win. And there it was, a lot of tweets going out. I said it myself. I thought it was the biggest win in Multnomah history. And I want to talk about your history in just a second. But now you've got a really big job as a coaching staff, because you've got to, this was a Final 8 team. Well, you're getting on the bus. You're going to go play a Final 4 team the next day. So talk about how you did that and not lose focus.
Yeah, for sure. It all started with, keeping the end in mind. Obviously, in the Cascade, you got to play back-to-back days, right? You have tough weekends like OIT and Southern and Eastern and College of Idaho, right? And we told them, we took a couple tough L's in conference the week before, and this is an opportunity to continue to, learn how to play back-to-backs, right? You might lose the first one and have to come back and play the next day. Or you have a big emotional win, right, over one of the top teams in the country, and you have a tough matchup just the next day, right? And it's all about being able to move on past, what you did the day before and do it again, right? And I think our guys were excited for the challenge. To be honest, I think the Arizona Christian game kind of woke them up a bit to, our potential as a team. And to be honest with you, they were quite excited for the next day. They were glad we were playing the next day, because it was another opportunity for us to prove ourselves. But overall, I was really pleased with their competitiveness on day 2. It was a gritty game. I had to fight back from down 5 at half, and I was really proud of the guys.
So a moment ago I mentioned Multnomah's history. One of the reasons that we wanted to get you on today versus Teo, the first-year coach, who, by the way, got to give him all the credit in the world, is that you've been there through some lean times and seen some good times. The program, honestly, really has struggled. I think you made the playoffs last year, right? Wasn't that your first time?
It wasn't last year, but the year before.
Okay, the year before. So you've made the conference playoffs the one time. Like I say, the program's just kind of it struggled. And to all of a sudden be a team, put aside some of the early losses, that goes down on the road and beats two of the country's best teams. What does that mean to you personally, having seen what you've seen, where you were kind of cannon fodder for a while, and now people have to sit up and take notice?
Yeah, for sure. I think, back in my playing days, we were a team that, could compete on a night-to-night basis with, Justin, depending on how Justin Martin would perform and things like that. But you always knew every game you were an underdog, right? And you had to shoot the lights out to stay in the game, because we weren't out rebounding anybody and we weren't out defending anybody, right? But, as far as this weekend and this season goes, and even, the last couple of years as we've started to kind of catch up, this weekend, this season means a lot to me. And it kind of just makes it a lot sweeter, right? Like, nobody likes to lose a bunch of games as a player or as a coach, right? And I think, I tell a lot of these guys on our team now who are new to the conference about, what Multnomah was, right? What my experience was as a player. Because to them, it's just they're going out and competing and trying to win. But for us as Multnomah, it means a lot more to be competing with some of those top teams in the country. I think they're starting to get the picture of it now, that it means a lot more to the community, to the coaching, to the alumni, the people who have been on the team. And we're excited to keep it rolling.
A couple of guys that I want to touch on Friday, was it Friday night you played Arizona Christian? The Arizona Christian game? Yeah. Javier Turner, he transferred out from Point Park. You were without Tyrese Taylor. I thought he did a really good job in the middle. Arizona Christian can be pretty tough inside, and he was able to neutralize that. And then something that really bodes well for the future for you the next night, I mean, you had other guys, including Taylor Pomeroy, you just mentioned, to show up, and he really shot lights out the next night. You had kind of different heroes. Just talk about the team and how it's pulling together and kind of got each other's back, is what it seems.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Javier is a huge presence for us. He was a defensive player of the year last year in the Appalachian Conference. So when we signed him, we knew he was going to be a big difference maker for us in the paint. Yeah, I think offensively, he has some skill as well. But his big difference maker is being down there and altering shots. I think he had 5 blocks against ACU. I mean, altered probably another 10 or
Mm-hmm.
so by making them have to shoot over him, right? But he's also a great communicator on the defensive end and, helps with rotations and everything like that. But yeah, you mentioned it as well as, we have the type of team where, it can be somebody new every night. And I think we even saw that in our games that we lost with conference. I mean, our freshman guard, Marjay Winfield, all season, he was battling for minutes with some older guards on the team, and he got his opportunity. I think he was 7 for 11 from the field. And then again, down in Arizona, Miles McAdory comes back from injury against ACU and has 26 off the bench. And then you mentioned it again with Ottawa, Taylor, Pomeroy, Neelan, Block, Javier. And I think what we're seeing is a team with a lot of new players starting to really get a rhythm with each other and to develop some chemistry and some connectedness and be able to, develop some cohesivity moving forward.
So now you're going to be back home. It doesn't get any easier. You're going to play the number 2 team in the
Correct.
country, College of Idaho. By the way, as we're taping this, Saturday night they just thumped Eastern Oregon pretty good.
Hmm.
They're a little bit hungry after getting beat by Southern, and then Eastern,
Yeah.
which is Eastern is far better than their record. So what is it going to
Right.
Quinn? What is it going to take for you guys to keep this going and really compete in the Cascade?
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing for us is to continue to get better, right? There were some times in the ACU game where, there were some 4-minute windows in there where we thought we didn't play our best basketball. And for us to continue to beat good teams, those windows have to get smaller and smaller, right?
Exactly. Yep.
There's some times where we revert back to some one-on-one basketball, right? Some bad habits that people have picked up from previous, schools and
Mm-hmm.
experiences. And I think the more we play together and the more we work on it and playing as a team, right? College of Idaho is the best at that, right? They go, 10 deep and they play as a unit. When they sub, there's no drop off, right?
Right.
And I think for
Exactly.
us, keeping that connectiveness and developing that chemistry and playing together as a team is going to be really important for us. And I think, who better to continue to get better at that than going against, the team that's the best at that, right?
Yeah.
So the guys are really excited. I'm sure they watched the game tonight. But, on the way back from Arizona Christian, that's all they're talking about is a big weekend at conference. And again, they still feel those losses from last week from Corbin and Bushnell and feel like they have to prove themselves. So they're excited. We're excited. Yeah, for sure.
Well, Quinn, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes. Big wins for the program this weekend, but you just laid out that really the season's just starting. We're just getting into conference. The team still has a long way to go. So,
Yep.
you just got to keep grinding. And, man, it's the Cascade Conference is already starting to shape up. I went out to Corbin and Bushnell last night. Looked like Corbin was going to run
Hmm.
away with that game, and then Bushnell almost, they caught him at the end. And there
Right.
is no easy nights.
Correct, man. And that's part of the reason why we wanted to schedule this tough, back-to-back weekend in Arizona is to continue to help us get better at those back-to-backs versus 2 really good teams because, that reflects exactly what our conference looks like every week.
Exactly. Well, Quinn, thank you very much, and welcome home from Arizona. Good luck as you move forward in the Cascade, and thanks a lot for giving me a few minutes tonight.
Yeah, no worries. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you much. That's Quinn Curry. He's the associate head men's basketball coach at Multnomah University. Thank you, Quinn.
Thanks.
Hey, thank you very much to Quinn Curry and to Multnomah University. As he said, well, there's just a ton of excitement about that game on the 15th. The Multnomah guys are very excited. They're going to pack that place. They're playing at Multnomah. I've already got a lot of emails from people in that area. They're wondering if they're going to have enough seats. And I know Colby Blaine and those guys, they are ready. They're not going to come over and get blindsided. So that should be a very competitive game and a fun. Multnomah has their games on TV. They don't charge for them. So you definitely want to tune into that. Thank you very much to Quinn Curry. Well, let's keep going in the top 25. So Indiana Wesleyan, on Saturday they played IU East. That's usually a pretty good matchup. Coach Hester does a great job at IU East. Indiana Wesleyan beat them there 98-83. Indiana Wesleyan goes to 8-2. Javen Buchanan 17-7. Griffin Cleaver 20.7 rebounds. This pair has just been lights out for the Wildcats so far this season. On December 30th, the Wildcats will be back in action playing Rochester. Wayland Baptist, they fell to a very good John Brown team, 71-69. Wayland Baptist goes to 6-3. As you can see there, 71-69. John Brown, they go to 4-1 in conference. Malaki Reeves, he had 23 points, 12 rebounds for John Brown. Wayland Baptist is now 6-3, 2-2 in conference. Number 11, Southwestern, just rolling. They beat Friends. That's a bit of a rivalry game. They beat them 90-82 to go to 11-0. Look who their leading scorer is, Kevin Clark. I'm shocked. 31 points, 5 rebounds. Andrew O'Brien, another key contributor for the the Builders, 17 points, 6 rebounds. So they're 11-0, and they're going to play Rockhurst University on December 29th. Northwestern, they took on Doane. They hosted them. They beat them 86-90. They moved to 9-1. Alex Van Kalsbeek, 16 points, 9 rebounds. Dylan Carlson, 16 points, 4 rebounds. They play a non-con next Saturday against Westcliff. Olivet Nazarene, they fell to Roosevelt. Knock, knock. If you're not watching this Roosevelt Laker team, boy, you better. They are very good. They beat Olivet Nazarene 81-78. Fort Prater, 19 points, 6 assists. Maurice Commander, 22 points. I nominate him for one of the best names in the NAIA. A huge win for Roosevelt. I believe, they're 4-0 now in conference, 10-1 overall. Pay attention. Olivet Nazarene now, they're idle until December 18th. They're going to play a non-con against Concordia, Nebraska. Mobile, they played Southeastern Baptist. They just buffed and polished them, 81-51. Mobile goes to 9-2. Ezra McKenna, 17 points, 10 rebounds for the double-double. Trent Moy, he fills the stat sheet, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. So Mobile will take on Blue Mountain Christian on December 14th. They're 9-2. Morningside, they played in a GPAC game. They beat Midland 100-88. Morningside goes to 9-2. The usual suspects for them: Joey Scoff, 24 points, 3 rebounds. Eli Doble, 23 points, 6 rebounds. They'll play a non-conference game on the 16th against Bellevue. That's Saturday. The Masters, they played a pair of games against Justice College. That's an NCCAA program. I think it's a fairly new program in Arizona. They beat them, I think it was, Friday and Saturday night. They beat them the first night 90-77. In that game, Cameron Oil, 18 points, 2 rebounds. Ty Harper, 23 points. And then the next night, they beat them 86-66. Caleb Lowry, 19 points, 9 rebounds. Just missing the double-double. But Jordan Caruso, he didn't miss the double-double. 17 points, 10 rebounds. And Ty Harper, he gets his patented 22 points. So next up for the Masters, on the 15th, which I believe is Friday, they're going to play Rocky Mountain. 2 fantastic teams. Put that one on your calendar. That will be a great game. So the Masters is 8-2. They're going to take on Rocky Mountain on the 15th. Number 20, Lords. They played a league game. They had to travel to Aquinas. They beat them 80-76. Lords goes to 9-0. Joey Hollifield, 16 points, 7 rebounds. Sean Monroe, 22 points, 3 rebounds. 9-0 Lords. They'll play a non-conference game on December 13th. I think that's Wednesday, against Shawnee State. Number 23, Columbia. They get back in the winning column. They beat Central Christian College of the Bible 106-62. They go to 8-3 in that game. Harrison Vickers, 22 points, 6 rebounds. Colin Parker, 24 points, 9 rebounds. On Saturday, 8-3 Columbia will play a non-conference game against Ottawa. And number 24, St. Thomas. They hosted Florida National, beat them 83-75. They go to 8-2. Jordan Hernandez, 22 points, 4 rebounds. Josh Taylor, 20 points, 9 rebounds. On the 13th, which again I believe is Wednesday, they're going to play New College of Florida. Speaking of Jordan Hernandez, in that game he hit the 1,000 career point mark. Congratulations to Jordan Hernandez. He's really playing some great ball there at St. Thomas. Okay, so we're going to, everybody saw this video, but I want to show you this, and then I'm going to get Chase Teichmann on. I know he's on the other day, but I just couldn't resist it. I got him on the phone Saturday night. But if you didn't see this, so Jarvis Brown, this game, they're down 3. Jarvis Brown for Thomas comes down and drains a big 3. It was a huge shot. So now they take the ball out. Florida College gives it to Deontay Martinez. Look at that. Oh, he couldn't have shot that a half second later. That red, watch the red light when it comes on. It was definitely in time, but look, watch this. Man, he drains it. Look at that, right? The ball's halfway there and the red light goes off. Oh man, that is tough. So I put out a tweet and I said something about it being a miracle win or a miracle shot. And my friend Chase Teichmann sent me a text and he goes, "What do you mean a miracle?" And so I said, well, okay, it's an arguable choice of words. I said, why don't you just give me a phone call? We'll talk about it and I'll put it on the show Monday. And he goes, we have a flat tire driving back from Thomas. So Chase Teichmann calls me at like 11:30 Saturday night. He's a trooper after having a flat tire and taking all night to get back. And I kind of poked at him about this. Let's take a listen. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. I got Chase Teichmann, head men's basketball coach, Florida College. Now, Coach, tell us, did you have a good drive back from Georgia?
Lovely drive back from Georgia. got a flat tire about 2 hours in, a little bit north of Ocala, so we were about an hour and a half from home. But the fellas showed really good teamwork and life skills, and they figured it out. And they changed our tire, put the spare on, and we got rolling and just got home a little bit ago.
Okay, so everybody knows you won that game, that little baseline fade. Who was it again that hit that shot and that was at the buzzer? He couldn't have released that any later.
Yeah.
Who was it that hit that shot?
Deontay Martinez.
That's right. So when I put something on Twitter, you kind of poked back at me. I said it was a miracle win, and you came back. You said, "Why are you calling that a miracle?" And I didn't answer you. I said, "Okay, it's arguable language, but talk about that."
Yeah, I just didn't want it. It sort of made it seem like it was like the SAGU game where we hit like a, off the front of the rim, free throw and bank a 3. Like I was just joking with you, but today was a really close game. We were up for the majority of the game, and then I'd say the last 8 or 9 minutes we were down, and then the last kind of minute or minute and a half we were up, and we were up 3, and once again I didn't execute our foul situation in hindsight as well as I wanted to, and Jarvis Brown, a really good player for them, hit a tough contested step back 3 to tie the game with 5 seconds, and then we called timeout and got the ball up the floor and made that shot. But yeah, I was just joking with you about how it made it seem like we made this miraculous comeback, but if teams would just stop scoring on us at the end and we could just get a stop, then we wouldn't have to make buzzer beaters.
Well, when he came down, I was watching the last few minutes of that game. When he came down and hit that last three, I mean, there was no doubt. Looking back, I don't think there was any doubt in his mind that he was going to shoot that ball. But he hit it. You got to give him credit. And
he did.
He did. You know what? For the amount of time, you guys, DeMonte, how do you pronounce his first name? Is it Deontay? Deontay. Yeah. He couldn't have managed that any better. He put a lot of pressure on the defender and kind of forced him back to the baseline, and then got the fade. But just talk about the emotions. You've needed these wins, these last few, and you've got them. I mean, you looked like you were in so much trouble when you lost those 3 in a row. Just talk about the emotion leaving Thomas.
Yeah, it was crazy because, it's quick transition from, being up and then them hitting that shot and then, us calling timeout. But, we had a very calm last timeout. I mean, I wouldn't say confident, this game's over, we're winning. But, I guess because we have been there and a lot of times already this year, we were pretty, relaxed, I guess you could say. We drew up a quick little action that it did go kind of like we thought. I would say the one thing was they were a little more pressed up to everybody than we thought. We thought we would probably draw some help at some point, and we never did. But, they pressured him early on, and he's really, really quick. And he takes that shot all the time. He loves mid-ranges. I'm kind of more of a threes and layups guy, but, he shoots them at a high clip, and we've sort of found a happy medium for him and myself. And it was funny because the guys were making fun of me at the end of the game in the locker room about how Deontay wins the game on a mid-range because CT doesn't like mid-ranges. So that was pretty funny.
Well, you got I'm trying to pull up your schedule right here, but are you at the end of this gauntlet yet? How many more games do you have before the end of the year?
Yeah, still got 3 more before the end of the year. We got a couple of days off. Then we'll play St. Francis, Indiana, and Cumberland, Tennessee at Southeastern Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
And then we'll play an exhibition against University of Tampa next Tuesday, and we'll play Eastern Oregon at home on Thursday next week.
Oh, that's right. You and I talked about this run. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the next 4 games are going to be tough. Well, Coach, I really appreciate. I know you really went through. You went through the talk about the gauntlet. You went through the gauntlet just to get home tonight, like a 4 or 5 hour ride with the flat tire was probably 5 or 6 hours. And to give us a couple of minutes here for people who don't know, it's really late on Saturday night. But thank you very much. Congratulations again to the Falcons.
Thank you, and I'm sorry for such a quick follow-up appearance on here. I know everybody's tired of hearing me and you talk.
Yeah, they're getting sick of Chase Teichmann, but they're not as sick of you as they are of me. Let me tell you that.
Oh, I don't believe that for a second.
Well, Chase, thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and good luck moving forward between now and the rest of the season or the rest of the year.
Thank you, Billy. See you.
Thanks a lot. That's Chase Teichmann, Florida College basketball. Thank you. Ain't NAIA basketball great? Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.